So this is the Swingin Bunt podcast, and I am your host Austin Marvin, and you're probably hearing me referred to as Marv or Marvin most of the time, and I've got my co-host here, Joe Mitchie.
How's it going? I'm a swing and bunt expert myself. I swing the bat hard and don't get the results. And really, that's what we're all about here at Swing and Bunt Baseball Podcast.
Yeah,
Trying our
and,
best, and whatever happens, happens.
yeah, and fun fact before we start is Joe's one and only varsity hit was a swinging bunt. I'm sure it'll be showed at some point throughout the podcast, but so basically, what this podcast is going to be about is, well, I am a Detroit Tigers fan, and Joe here is the enemy. He is a Cleveland Guardians fan, and we're just two best friends that love talking ball, and we basically do it every at least once a week. So we figured, why not record it?
Yeah, just makes sense. Somebody watches. If not, then what's the difference? Still
Yeah,
talking baseball.
for sure. So we do have some segments prepared, and we'll get into those later. So basically, let's do a little backstory. How let's for the fans out there, the on Spotify or YouTube is where we're gonna be at first, and I'll we'll share it on our social medias probably or something for the first few. And so let's start out with basic information. Where how did you become a Cleveland Guardian slash Indian slash fan?
Yeah, it was Indians at the time, and I wasn't always the biggest baseball watcher. I loved baseball. I played it my whole life, of course. And then, I started just before the COVID year. I realized how much a lack of baseball physically hurt as a person. And after that, I started getting really into the Guardians. I was around for their 2016 World Series run. I was a very average viewer. I knew
Casual.
of them. Yeah, very, very casual. Yeah. But ever since then, I've, stopped playing baseball and really, really started watching baseball. And I'm a huge Guardians fan ever since.
Yeah, we grew up playing together throughout not a whole lot in elementary school. Played against each other a lot. When then middle school came and we were together on teams, and then high school we played all 4 years together. Well, 3 years because of
Yeah.
COVID. Plus summer ball, we played all 4 years of summer ball together, and yeah, so we've grown up playing together, and we were we weren't the greatest players, but we were good enough.
No, we were outfielders. We were fast. We caught everything. But when it came to the offensive side, we maybe weren't the greatest. But,
That
we once again, we gave it our 100%. We were great defenders, both of us. And, in my mind, that was the one thing I could control. I could run fast. I could catch balls. If they threw me a curveball, it was what it was.
it was a swinging bunt. That's what
It
it
was
was.
just swinging fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure at some point we'll talk about our seasons together and some of our high school games that we played
Mhm.
in, and get into some of our best memories at some point down the line. But well, that's all for later. This is just the introduction, and we might need to fill time at some point, and we're shooting for once a week during the season. The We're not sure exactly what days yet, but whenever we're both available, it might kind of make some of our segments a little goofy at times, being off weeks and being like right now this is a Sunday we're recording right after the Tigers Guardians game got postponed because of
Yep.
rain,
Yep.
and
So
we were at the game yesterday together.
for a big Guardians win
Yeah,
on Scooble Day.
Scooble back on the mound after 5 weeks post elbow surgery. Never heard of.
A quick 5 weeks. A very, very quick 5 weeks.
And I when we got back, I saw that he wasn't obviously he wasn't happy going 4 2/3, but I mean he said I don't have the exact quote pulled up, but he said that just being happy to be back is a loser mentality. He wants to win.
Wow. Yeah, I respect that. I do. But like at the same time, you have to look at that. That is a surgery. Someone went into his elbow with a knife and took stuff out of it, and he's pissed that he's back just over a month. I mean,
Yeah,
you got to take what you can get, and what you can get is he's back.
yeah, I mean, just seeing him out there on the mound, second time ever watching him live pitch, it was, I mean, just seeing him, the the aura out there. He's
100%.
got the most aura I think I've ever seen from anybody. Just the way he conducts himself is. It's going to be a sad day when he is no longer a Detroit Tiger, and I do not want to think about it.
No, that we might sadly have to get into that a little bit later on, but I'll let you push that as far away as possible for the time being.
Yeah, anytime I see something on Instagram about potential suitors or this or that, and I scroll by. It hasn't happened. I don't want to think about it. It's right now. He's on my team, and that's all I can ask
Uh-huh.
for right now.
Yep. All right. Well, in the meantime, we're a little structured at the moment. We got a few segments we have planned out, so might as well just hop right into it and see where the conversation leads.
Yeah, let's go with the our first segment is called the Rake Report. And basically, what we're going to do in here is talk about a player who had a good week at the plate, either pitching, defensively, base running, whatever it is. And generally, I'm going to have a Tigers player, he's going to have a Guardians player, but we also play fantasy baseball. And we'll talk about that later, but it could sometimes involve a fantasy baseball player on one of our teams that helped us to a win or something like that. Or
Mhm.
it could just be any player in baseball, but we're mainly going to focus on Tigers and Guardians. So why don't you start us out, Joe?
All
Oh,
right.
let
For
me share your
my
screen.
weekly rake report, I will be targeting the Guardians utility man, Daniel Schneeman. So as I'm sure all Guardians fans know, just yesterday, Jose Ramirez was pulled with the game. He broke a hamate bone in his hand. I know there's been a few instances of that throughout the league this year, and I don't know really what the expected return rate is of an injury like that is. But at the end of the day, it is a broken bone, so I think you would expect around a month, maybe more.
Yeah, because it was Lindor had it at the beginning of the year, Jackson Holiday and Corbin Carroll had it.
Hmm. Hmm.
And Corbin and Lindor came back about a month, but I think Holiday was like 2 months. Just something
Yeah,
didn't
I
go
feel like
right.
you'd expect that a little bit more from a rookie, don't
Yep.
not needing him, don't not wanting to push it. But when you have a star like Lindor or Carroll, you want them back ASAP.
Yeah.
So hopefully we see something like that out of Jose around the month time. But in the meantime, with no Jose, it's looking like it's going to be Daniel Schneeman. It will be our primary third baseman. And honestly, I'm not too hurt about it. As not too hurt as I can be. Of course, you want your star Jose on the
Yeah.
field playing third.
One of the best Guardians players probably all time, I would
Yeah,
say.
easily put that tattoo up ASAP.
Yep.
But in the meantime, we're gonna have Daniel Schneeman playing the hot corner, and we look at outs above average leaders for the team so far in 2026, and there he is, right at the top. Daniel Schneeman, 6 outs above average, leading the team, and believe it or not, the majority of those are at third base.
Was
He's
is
got
that
5 outs above average at third base.
is that DH and Jose?
Yeah, a lot of DH. Yeah,
Mm,
basically the only time he's been playing third base is on Jose's quote unquote off days, where he DHs still.
I see.
But yeah, so even in that limited time, 46 attempts, he has 5 outs above average.
That's pretty dang good. I
That's
would
very
not have
dang
thought
good.
that at all.
You look at league leaders in primary third baseman. You got Max Muncy, Michael Garcia, and Jose at 5. So that puts him right up there with league leading third baseman outs above average.
That's yeah, I would never have guessed that, to be honest with you.
So, for a month, we're going to be missing that beautiful switch hitting league leading bat that Jose is. But defensively speaking, I think we're going to be in a pretty decent place having Daniel playing that hot corner. So there's always a silver lining, and that silver lining is we still got a guy. You know.
You still got good defense. You got gonna
Mm-hmm.
have a liability there. The Guardians are generally have good defense throughout, so that's
Sadly, they're a defensive first team in this age of
well,
three true outcome. We disagree.
well, you could say sadly, but I mean, they've unfortunately they've won the Central the last 2 years, and they're right up there with it this year, so it's worked for them.
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do when you refuse to spend money.
Yeah, I feel like I saw on another podcast I listened to. You're one of two teams. You either develop or you spend money. And the Guardians are the develop,
Mm-hmm.
and the Tigers are neither of the two.
I was gonna ask. So, which one does that make the Tigers?
They do a little bit of both, but neither very well.
What do they say? A jack of all trade makes a master of none. And
Yeah,
when you try to do it all, you end up doing nothing.
basically it's what we're looking at right now, and hopefully hopefully we can somehow marry the two like the Dodgers. That would be yeah, the Dodgers are the lone exception to that rule. They do both.
You don't think of the Dodgers as much of a prospect team, but when you really look at the numbers and look at the guys in their lower organizations, they do a great job of promoting dudes and getting them ready for the major league level.
Yeah, they're always a top 5 farm system in baseball, and they're always trading guys away to get new talent. And we hate the Dodgers around here.
Yep.
I'm sure it is not the last time the Dodgers will
hot take. We hate the Dodgers.
That is the extremely hot take.
Uh-huh.
So let's see. I'm going to go into my rake report. So for my rake report, we are going the one and only Dylan Dingler.
Mm-hmm.
He is, in my opinion, the best catcher in baseball right now. In this past week, we have from June 8th to June 14th, which would have been Monday to Sunday. I'm gonna try to do it based on like the fantasy week. That's kind of what we know around here. And in that week, he has had 23 plate appearances, 10 hits,
wow,
5 extra base hits, 2 home runs.
Wow.
He doesn't have a walk. He didn't have a walk last week and struck out almost 35% of the time. But when you have 10 hits and 23 plate appearances, that's good enough for a 260 WRC plus.
If you're hot, let it eat, man.
And he's been hot. Look, here's a little look at his Savant page.
Wow.
It is red across the board. And not to mention his bat has been good. He's also one of the best defensive.
I was just gonna say, from a not Tigers fan perspective, I think of Dylan Dingler as mainly a defensive first kind of guy. Yeah, isn't that what he was called up for originally?
Yeah, he won the Gold Glove last year for the catcher.
Okay.
And his lone issue right now is his caught stealing. And if you look at it last year, he was up there right with it. And from watching games, it is, in my opinion, I'm no scout, no expert. We're casual fans around here. It's a lot of the pitcher's fault, as much as a pitcher's fault it can be. It's just they're always running off of the pitcher nonstop, and he has no chance. Because if you look at his pop time is really good, his velo on his throws is really good. It's not up here. I'm not sure where to find that. Probably in here fielding. Maybe not, but anyway, he is transcended himself into one of the best catchers in baseball and had himself one heck of a week.
Yeah, he did.
If you look at it, that's the wrong page. Here it is. Per Fangraphs, with minimum 150 plate appearances this year, he leads all catchers in WAR at 3.0.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. And Shea has been. I mean, he's been a little on and off the injury bug, but he has been absolutely dominant at the plate.
He has been. He's got a 140 WRC plus compared to Dylan's 135. But when you
I
count in the
cannot believe
defense,
that Adley is all the way up there.
Adley has been really good too. Especially the Orioles have just been good in general with Samuel Basayo too.
Hmm.
Basayo's down here at 11 in terms of WAR
Wow,
for. So the Orioles have two top 12 catchers in terms of WAR.
that's a great sign.
For the Orioles, that's good for them. And I had one. Where's it at? Da, da, da. Little preview. Trying to find where I had my. What? I guess maybe I was thinking of something else. But yeah, Dylan Dingler. If I'm sure if you're a Tigers fan or a Guardians fan, and you don't have to be out of those to listen to this podcast, by the way. If you just love sports, you love
All are
baseball,
welcome. All are welcome.
we're glad to have you in here listening. He uh, he is a Ohio State alum, and he is from not far from Cleveland, and they mention it about 3 times every
Yep.
broadcast that the two teams play each other.
Yep.
So, into our next segment, weekly whiff. You want to talk about what our weekly whiff segment is, Joe?
Yeah. So, weekly whiff. It's kind of just what it sounds like. It is someone who is having an unfortunate, rough time. It could be the last week. Could be month to day. But either way, they're slumping, and we are not happy about it.
Yeah, basically the opposite of the rake report.
Hmm.
So I'll lead us off with this one. So here, there was a couple I thought about I could go, but I decided to go with Spencer Torkelson because of the last. It feels like when you're watching Torque, he's always up to bat in a big moment, and he just fails every time.
No clutch scene.
No clutch gene, and I don't know this. I don't have it pulled up because I just thought of this one off the rip. He is like 2 for 30 career with the bases loaded.
Really.
He has been rough. So in this past week, he's not been terrible. I mean, depending on how you want to look at it. 19 plate appearances. He's got 3 hits, so he's batted 176 on the week. But of his 3 hits, 2 of them are homers. And he's got a 10% walk rate, where the real stinker is 52.6 K rate on the week.
Oh,
He's struck out 10 times this week, and some of them have been in very unfortunate spots. I found this. I'll pull it up here. I'll zoom in. This is his at bats this week. So we'll start at the bottom. He has his one of his 3 hits where it wasn't a home run. So all right, nothing wrong here. Then it's kind of shows it by, so this is the same. This would be the next at bat, but it was a wild pitch, so a guy advanced. So it shows that. But it'll show you here with it says bases, it'll show you where a guy is. So a 1 means there's a guy on first. If you look at the up here at the top, 1 and 3, there's a guy on first and third, and it shows how many outs. So if you look here with Taj Bradley, 2 outs, guy on first, foul out to the catcher. You not want to foul out to the catcher. That's
hmm.
You get tired of fouling out to the catcher. You get next one, nobody on, strikeout. Next one, you get one of his walks. Next one, he got one of his walks. So he was walking a decent amount. But then you look, strikeout, looking, strikeout, swinging, and it shows you here and score what the score was at the time. 1-1, 3-4. You kind of hope for something there. And here where it really hurts is when we were late in it against the Twins and then into the Guardians. We had a guy first and third, 2 outs, and we were up 8-0. That was the blowout game. But stats doesn't matter what the score is. You struck out swinging. There's right here. You got 3 straight swinging strikeouts, and strikeouts has been his bane. And if you look into the game that we went to yesterday, here is him. We are down 3-1 with one out. Got a guy on first and third, strikeout
Oh
swinging.
man.
You got his last at bat against Cade Smith. They brought Cade Smith in, the league leading closer for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Could say that
He,
again.
yeah, unfortunately, he came in to face him with 2 outs in the eighth. Guy on second, down 3-1, drop third strike. You can't be having that with
So essentially, another strikeout.
another strikeout. 52% of strikeouts.
Yep.
Another thing here. Let's see. He is. Where's the stat? He leads first baseman, qualified third baseman in strikeout rate.
Oh.
I think I have it somewhere. I thought I did. I can pull it up right here. K percentage. 33.3% strikeout rate this season.
Wow.
And I mean, 11% walk rate isn't bad. It's middle of the pack. You're fine with that. It's when his average is 201. He is dead last for 209 for batting average on the year. Can't be having that out of
not what you want from
baseman.
a third baseman.
A first base only.
Yeah.
And he is the fourth worst WAR first baseman at 0.1 out of 31 qualified first basemen. Not what we want to see out of our former first overall pick, but that's kind of the torque that we've kind of come to know if you're a Tiger fan. Either it's a home run or bust.
Big 3 true outcome guy that Spencer is.
Yeah, and he's had good years, and we just hope that he can start to turn it around a little bit. But he's a bad week for the weekly whiff with 10 strikeouts. Not what you like to see. So who would be your weekly whiff, Joe?
Going over from one former first overall pick to the next. It's unfortunately we'll be highlighting this week our boy, the Aussie Travis Bazzana, who through the last 7 days have been batting 111 with a 111 slugging and a 384 OPS. Really, really bad. But I'm not going to sit here and just dog on my boy Bazzana the whole time. I wanted to maybe go a little bit into those numbers and maybe wonder what is happening. So you see in the month of June versus the month of what's before this, May. May he was absolutely crushing. You look at his fastball, breaking ball, off speed here, especially against the breaking ball. A 364 batting average. That is absolutely insane.
Yeah, you like that against breaking balls. You crush a breaking ball, then it's pretty good.
That is spectacular. You jump ahead to this month, he has done literally nothing against breaking balls and off speed. And so I think, unfortunately, it's his first year in the league, first 3 months in the league, and the scouting report is coming together.
Yeah, they're adjusting to him.
It is inevitable, and I think the truth of the matter is barring this 1 month where he got really hot against the breaking balls, especially if I could switch it over to against the lefties, that's a left-handed bat. I mean, he is essentially, once again, really hot June into those breaking balls. But besides that, into the lefties, he is doing next to nothing.
Yeah, you hate to see that for a young guy with the platoon.
But it's inevitable. Young guy, he's a lefty. He's not necessarily, you want to think of him as a big power guy, but you look at his college numbers, and believe it or not, he was a power guy. He has second most all-time home runs at Oregon State, which isn't the biggest baseball school of all time, but they've been known to do some damage.
Yeah, they've put some guys into the league.
Stephen Kwan.
Stephen Kwan.
Adley. Yep.
I'm sure there's more that we're not familiar with or can think of at the moment. But yeah,
But
they're a good
believe it or
school.
not, he could hit once upon a time, and he still can. But yeah, the month of June has not been nice to him. Even against fastballs, he still isn't doing great. Um, so we go down here a little bit lower. Look at his pitch mixes in general. And he's really not looking horrible, but it's the off speed that is really eating him alive. Especially as of recent, going into that month of June. So yeah, unfortunately, I didn't pull quite as many stats as Mr. Marvin did there, but yeah, I just wanted to really highlight that. I don't think we need to panic. At the end of the day, he was a #1 overall draft pick, and I do believe in his ability to adjust the way that the pitchers are currently adjusting to him. And
Well,
really,
he's
that's the beauty of baseball. It is a matchup game. It is an adjustment game. They're going to adjust to you. You fight right back, and then they adjust again. You fight right back, and that's what makes great players great. It's not sitting there and mashing the same pitch over and over and over again. It's what happens when things change. And I think in the next coming weeks, we're going to see what happens when things are changing.
well, this is only his what second month into his
Yep.
professional career.
Second full month. Yep.
He's what 23, 22. So he's got a lot of room to grow there compared to Torque, who's been in the league for 4 years now. I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, he's running out of time to figure it out. Bazana's gonna have some more time to figure it out. And it's funny you brought up Bazana because I was debating about bringing up McGonigal, who I'm sure is going to get a lot of runway in this podcast because he is a pretty good player. If you're not familiar, he struggled this week, and I'll talk a little bit about that more when we get into the fantasy section.
Oh, you do
So
have him on your team, don't you?
I do
Lucky
I do
dog.
have him as a keeper. I took
Oh
him in
boy, even
the
better.
19th round. I took him, and we've got special keeper rules, but we'll go over those at some point. So our last segment that we kind of have planned, there's a couple other things going to talk about, but our last main thing is Beyond the Bunt. This is probably my favorite segment, my favorite segment name. It I stole the idea from a podcast I listened to called Motor City Metrics. They call it Inside the Number, but they basically it is looking at somebody whose numbers, if you dig deep into them, might not show the true story. So I'm going to start us out here with, unfortunately, a guy who just got injured in Mr. Jack Flaherty. His numbers, Jack, if you're a Tigers fan, you know Jack Flaherty is a bit of a whirlwind. You never know what you're going to get out of him.
Mm-hmm.
And this is our third year with him after trading him in 2024. And he had a not so great last year. And this year he started off terrible. If you
Yes.
look in his first 6 starts or 9 starts, 6 starts, it would have been, he had an ERA of 5.33 in minimum of 20 innings pitched. I could not go qualified innings pitched because he did not qualify
Really?
because he only had 25 innings in like 25 and 2/3 in his first 6 starts. His FIP was 5.33, or his ERA was 5.33, 36th in out of 143 for worst. And if you look at his FIP was 6 point, where is it at? 6.03, 15th worst out
Wow.
of major league pitchers, minimum 20 innings pitch from the start of the season to April 30th. He was walking everybody. His walk rate was 18%. At one point in this stretch, he had the most walks by starting pitchers at like 36 whenever the broadcast brought it up, and I don't remember when it was. His walks per nine was, yeah, number one, 7.82
Oh man.
out of your starting pitcher who you had penciled in as your three. He was your third starter to start the season. The
Well,
good
with the amount of absolute pain your poor starting pitching rotation has been through.
Yeah, and he is the one guy. Well, we can count in Kiner Montero, who came up after JV got hurt, made one start. He has been healthy the entire time. And Framer, but Framer's a whole different story. I thought about going him, but we went with Jack just because he got hurt and we don't know when we're going to see Jack again. Not a crazy injury, but he did put him on the IL, so minimum 15 days. We did like to see that he had a 9.95 K rate. So we knew he was still striking guys out, but it was the walks that were hurting him. So then, if you go and look from May 1st until now, his last start, which was Friday, was it Friday? It was Friday. He got hurt. He has a 2.88 FIP, which would be 14th best for qualified guys since then, which was 82 guys. So if you don't know what FIP is for our viewers who might not be as nerdy as us, it is fielding independent pitching. So basically, it looks at your strikeout per nine, your walk per nine, your home runs per nine. It gets rid of like all the fielding stuff that happens, like a blooper into center field that lands. It gets rid of that, and that if that would score a run, it gets rid of that. His ERA, however, has stayed at 5.36. So if you look at it between the two, his in the first from start of the year to April 3rd, 5.33 ERA to a 5.36 ERA. But the FIP goes from 2.88 to 6.03. And out of all of those pitchers, that is the biggest jump difference. Right here, E minus F, ERA minus FIP, 2.47 is the
Wow.
biggest gap between ERA and FIP.
So are you taking that as something against the Tigers defense? Or
Well,
it's just the type of pitcher that Flaherty is? He's more of a strikeout or walk kind of guy, and if it's contact, it's probably going to be hard.
it's a mixture of both. The Tigers, last I knew, I don't know, I doubt it's changed, were the worst defensive team according to Fangraphs with how
Huh.
they calculate it. So he was not getting any help in the pitching, in the defensive wise. But when you go and look at the K per nine, he's up to 11.16. So he's up 1.5 strikeouts per nine. And the strikeouts in the walks is down to 2.68. 5 walks less per nine. He's starting to get in the strike zone, but his BABIP has been atrocious at 3.68.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that sums it up basically. Yeah.
but I'd rather have a guy who's just getting blue pit after blue pit, because then you have a chance to throw a guy out, try and advance a base, or even if it's not a blue pit, it's a ground ball that you're getting them out on. If you're walking every single guy, then that's when that's where the frustration with Jack Flaherty was at the start of the year. But he started to turn it around.
See, you say that, and there is a lot of frustration, especially from a fan perspective. Gosh, you hate sitting there and just watching walk after walk after walk. But something really hurts about getting BABIP to hell, man.
Yeah,
Just
and
bloop after bloop. I might say that's worse than walk after walk.
I don't know. It's you're talking about bloop after bloop. You might as well be talking about how your team plays against the Tigers. Anytime it's just blue pit after blue pit. We saw that in the first game. It was blue pits, and you guys played good defense, and that's how you won.
Uh-huh. Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I hate it when it's done to me, but gosh, I love when we do it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's a tough. Would you rather walk every guy or just have blue just get BABIP to death? I'd almost rather be BABIP to death, because then it's just being unlucky versus just being bad.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point.
But that's my beyond the bunt, and it's unfortunate to see Jack Flaherty go down with injury right when he's had
Mhm.
probably been the best Tigers starting pitcher. If you don't think about all the bloops, and you think about FIP, and you want to look at FIP, he was the best Tigers starting pitcher we had in our atrocious May.
Yeah, it was a rough May, but thank goodness it's finally a good June for you guys.
Well, it was a good June. We'll see. We've lost two straight. We'll see what we bounce back against the Astros, but we'll get into that later.
Mhm.
What is your Beyond the Bunt?
My Beyond the Bunt will be highlighting one of my favorite players and my brother's 100% favorite player, Mr. Stephen Kwan. And I'm sure, as we all know, Stephen Kwan loves watching the first pitch. See, MLB average pitchers swing at the first pitch approximately 32% of the time and get approximately a 3.38 batting average against. Stephen Kwan, on the other hand, swings at that first pitch just under 6% of the time. He just, I don't know exactly why, right? He likes getting counts deeper, and I appreciate that. Someone has to do it.
It's a good leadoff hitter.
He's a good leadoff hitter. Unfortunately, for the last few weeks, he's slowly moved his way further and further down our lineup, where he's found himself comfortably in that 6 to 8 range.
I know what that's like.
Yeah. But on paper, he's a fantastic leadoff hitter, and I love him for it. So right here, I have looking at all pitches. This is our first pitches at the at bat here, right? For the year 2026, when he actually swings at the first pitch, he's batting just under 260.
That's pretty good.
And look at the whiff numbers is really what you like. He is not swinging and missing on the pitch. I think I actually have. No, I apologize. I have my wrong page pulled up there. This is our pitches when he's actually swinging and doing something with that first pitch of that bat, and he's batting 333 when he's deciding to do something. Once again, that is just under our league average. And Kwani, by all means, is not a league average hitter, right?
Oh.
We have him there for his 4 straight Golden Gloves, not necessarily for his hitting prowess.
What's that say? 14 plate appearances. That basically means he's swung at 14 first pitches.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and here I have pulled up what he has done with those 14. But believe it or not, his one and only home run on the year was on a first pitch. Isn't that interesting? And still only 100 mile an hour off the bat, and I believe that is his max so far of the year. 100.
I'd be all right with getting to 100 exit velocity on my pitch.
Yeah, I'll take that any day of the year. But when you're in an era of guys hitting the ball 100, 122, 100, damn near 125 miles an hour, 100 is bad. 100 is bad.
100 is not ideal for the MLB at this point in the era of what we're at.
Mm-hmm. But once again, when we look back at what he is doing when he does actually decide to swing at that first pitch, by the way, he has not swung and missed at a first pitch of an at bat. If he decides, which I believe that this is a decision, he walks into that bat knowing I am swinging at the first pitch or I am watching that first pitch. And when he decides he's swinging at that first pitch, he hasn't missed yet, albeit 14 times, but he has swung and made contact 100% of the time when he chooses to on that first pitch.
Well, Kwan, watching him whenever he's against the Tigers, he doesn't swing and miss hardly ever to begin with.
He doesn't swing and miss. If you recall, when he first debuted, he went on a red-hot 116 pitches seen without a swinging and missing streak.
I feel like I do remember seeing that stat at some point.
So it's no surprise. We knew what we were getting with Stephen Kwan. He's a big contact guy. And if you look at this average exit velocity of 73, that's what you get. That's what you get. But even still, with hitting the ball, you look at his expected numbers here. He's only expecting a slugging of just over 400, but he's getting a 670.
That's pretty good. 6.7.
Yeah.
I would.
Like you look at Stephen Kwan's deep numbers. You pull up his Baseball Savant page, and if I could find it, it's not great. It's not great.
Yeah, at the top where you kind of want to see a lot of red. It's like the opposite of Dylan Dingler's almost,
except especially with all your expected numbers, because that's what you get out of him. He doesn't hit the ball hard. and that translates to bad expected numbers.
Yep.
But he squares it up. He doesn't chase. He doesn't whiff. He gives you good quality at bats, and when he hits it, we do what the Guardians do, and it bloops and it gets down, and he gets on base.
Guard ball from what I've heard, as
And
you were saying.
that is why he is my brother's favorite player. He is guard ball to a T. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to highlight we know what we get out of Stephen Kwan. He's not going to expect to go up and do damage with that first pitch. But when he does truly decide I'm swinging at this first pitch, he does some damage with it.
Mm-hmm.
And last year it was a big push for Stephen Kwan. When I swing, I'm swinging hard. That was a big thing that he was saying. And he got a career high, I believe, 11 home runs by the end of the season, because he decided I'm going to swing hard. And you see, even when he's not getting great exit velo on these first pitches, when he decides to swing and swing hard on the first pitch, he is getting good numbers. And I'm just kind of hoping to get a little bit more of that, maybe work his way further up the order. Unfortunately, when you look at the Guardians batting lineup, our two basically prospects for our leadoff spot is Travis Bazzana and Stephen Kwan, both lefty bats,
Yeah.
which sucks. You'd like to, in general as a team, we'd like a few more righty bats, but I hope that Stephen Kwan starts to get hot and move his way back up where he belongs. And
Well,
that's my
the
highlight.
Tigers and Guardians are similar in that way. As we righty bats is the one thing neither of us really have, and it's kind
Isn't
of
that interesting?
in Torque would be a great righty bat if he could not strike out 33% of the time. But but if you do strike out 33% of the time, you got to do more damage when you do make contact. And he's got 11 homers, but it's not quite what you want to see. And I mean, growing up when we were getting taught how to play, I mean, a lot of coaches told us that the first pitch is a lot of times your best pitch you're going to see.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth for that, even at the major league level, where we see here the first pitch is a strike roughly 60% of the time. And I lost the number, but it's a fastball about that percentage of time as well. So even at the major league level, that truth still stands where that's probably the best pitch. And it's just very interesting that Stephen Kwan consciously decides to forego that and instead wants to battle deeper in counts.
Well, that's I know you mentioned something about that when we were at the game yesterday, but looking deeper into the numbers, as the segment is alluding to, it's interesting to see all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got something that I kind of teased you about the other day, and I told you
I've
I
been
was
waiting.
So I'll do a little backstory. So we played together at Evergreen, and we had a guy named RJ Shunk who went to Toledo, and he was drafted into the Marlins organization, and he's hurt, unfortunately, Tommy John. But we also played against two other guys in DJ Newman and Joseph DeJurwa, and Jerwa is a top 100 prospect right now in baseball.
Really, I didn't know that they redid those recently.
And I think I sent it to you on Instagram. I don't think you ever saw it, but it is per what it would be just baseball. It's their top 100, so it's not like a national media thing. They have Jerwa as the number 92 prospect in baseball. And the thing that I found out, so I was at Michigan International Speedway over last weekend, and let me think of this.
Drew, by the way, is in the Orioles organization.
Yeah, he was a second round pick out of Michigan State, and he lit us up when we played against him. Yes. I struck out. I don't think you played that game.
I got a late spot in the defense in left field, but no, I did not get in that bad against him.
It was the best pitching I've ever seen. And, second round pick, you kind of figure that. But what I found out, so it would technically be my second cousin's husband, my mom's first cousin, her husband knows the Jerwa family through work related things.
Hmm.
So I was talking because we were I was talking. He's a Tigers fan, and we were talking about the Tigers, and I think he asked if I knew anybody on the Mud Hens like in the local area, and I'm like, no, not really. But then I brought up RJ, and then I brought up Jerwa, saying how we played against him, and he's like, oh, I know his mom pretty well through work. So, like, when we make it big on in this podcast, I might have an into some interview with Jerwa at some point.
That would be sweet.
Even
That'd be
though he
really
has no idea who either of us are. Like we're two people that he faced me in high school and never faced Joe. But we've kept up on him because he's the best player probably out of our local area.
great. Hmm.
I would say ever, but I don't. I'm sure there's somebody back in the day that,
You'd assume. You'd
but
assume. But
yeah,
for all those who don't know, Joseph Drua is a what, 6'8", I think nowadays,
I think so.
lefty. So he was born to throw a baseball, and let me tell you, he does a great job at it.
Yeah, so and maybe one day we'll get him on the pod, and maybe we can get RJ on the pod at some point
Hmm.
once he's back from Tommy John. But we're going on 46 minutes right now for this podcast.
Oh boy.
And there were two segments left. We were going to do a weekly predictions and talk about our fantasy teams. But maybe let's just talk about our weekly predictions and fave fantasy for another time. That'll be maybe like our time filler if we need to.
Yeah, it's been a rough week for both of us, so might as well put the fantasy on the
Yeah,
back burner.
yep. So our weekly predictions, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do it like fantasy does, where it's Monday through Sunday. And it's probably going to get screwed up with when we record because we're probably not always going to record on Sundays or on Saturdays or something like that. But I think what we should do is like we'll go through each game and predict win or loss, and that'll be we'll take our total. So we say one of us says 4-2, and even if like we don't correct pick the correct games, we still end up 4-2. That'll count as a point.
Okay.
I think is probably the best way to do it
Hmm.
versus going game by game and saying if you got that game right or not. So I've got your guys' schedule pulled up here with also projected starting pitchers.
Perfect.
And it's not quite correct because of the game cancellation today. So I guess just jump it down one. So we're gonna go for you guys have an off day on Monday. So we are gonna put a slash in the Monday. And so on that's the wrong tab. Tuesday, you guys got Milwaukee. What do you think about your Milwaukee matchup?
I'm feeling now. Obviously, Milwaukee is a good team, and they've
Mm-hmm.
been pretty hot as of recent. Um, but to be honest, a lot of that isn't really. Besides the one, it's not coming from their pitchers
Yeah.
primarily. And I have a feeling if we can throw strikes and keep the ball on the ground and let our defense do our thing, I maybe very optimistically, I think this could be a sweep. I'll give them one. I'll say we're 2-1, and probably the loss will be coming on. I'm going to give the loss to Slade Ciccone. I feel
So
like that's the easy
the
pick.
first game.
Yep.
So we'll go loss, win, win. Then you guys got the Astros, which wait, that's us. You do have the Astros. We play the What do you know? We play the Astros, and then you guys play the Astros. They're about to get beat up by the AL Central, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully you guys soften them up for us. That'd be
Yeah,
really
that's the
nice.
goal. So what do you think?
That first game there, Baibi versus Tatsuya. Little known fact, I am a big Tatsuya Amai fan. I know he's been struggling a little bit. I have him on my fantasy team, hoping he'll be a keeper for me next year. So, for the sake of my fantasy team, I'm going to make that one a loss. I'm sorry, Tanner, but I'm hoping Tatsuya gets me a win.
Alrighty, loser.
Didn't have to say it like that.
Sorry, I accidentally typed it that way, so I had to say it.
We're gonna go for Joey Cantillo. He's Who's that? Mike Bowers. Gosh, I really am a casual, aren't I? I've never heard that name in my life.
He's an all right player. Let's see
Is
what has
he?
he done this year. He in 2026. He is 26 years old, 78 innings. He's got a 5.86 ERA, 4.55 FIP. So not the greatest season out of him.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure this whole stretch is at home. Unfortunately, the Guardians have been straight up bad at home this year.
It says at Houston, so
Oh, is it?
you got the Lux out of that one. Well, you
Okay.
got 3 straight away series. That
Oh
blows.
man, I mean that actually good for us. We're significantly better on the road. So I'll give game 2 a win for Slade, or no, for Joey. And I'll give Slade a good bounce back there against Aaron Getty. Not been a fan of him. I don't think ever in his career. I want to be honest. I personally think he was overhyped. This is coming from an extremely casual fan who doesn't look at the numbers. But I've never been a big fan of Spencer, so I think we're taking the series, getting back-to-back wins there.
So, you project you guys are gonna go 4-2 this week. So if the team goes 4-2, you get a point.
Now you'll never see me sit here and project that we're going to go negative on the year.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
that's fair, and I probably won't ever either, even though the way the season has looked for us has not been good. So for me, we face Houston first, and I think we take the first game pretty. I don't know,
Oh, Hunter
Kai,
Brown comeback game.
Yeah, we'll get to Kai Wong Tang, whoever that is. I don't. I pride myself in being a little bit more than a casual, but I've not heard of Kai Wan Tang.
Yeah, no idea.
He's having a decent year, it looks like, but I think Troy Melton is coming off his. I guess I don't know who's going to start. If it's going to be Casey or Troy, because Casey was supposed to start today. But
Yeah,
either
that would be
way,
a comeback for him too, right?
Casey it would be, not Troy. Troy's made 3 starts since coming back from injury, and his last start was his worst start since back. So either way, if you give me Troy or Casey, I think we're taking that one. Now, Hunter Brown. That guy's pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he's coming back from injury and going against Framber. And
Yeah.
we don't need to get into Framber. We'll get. I'm sure we'll get into Framber at some point, but I don't think we're gonna beat him. And Peter Lambert. Sorry, don't know you. We're winning that game. We're gonna go 2-3. Hopefully, maybe we can squeak one out against Hunter Brown. Don't know. We got the White Sox. We were swept by the White Sox the last time we played the White Sox.
White Sox are hot.
White Sox are hot. Technically, AL Central leaders, or do the Guardians have them now?
I think it's still them, unfortunately, or maybe we brought it back to a tie.
So Scooble's going to be pitching at some point. I think we win that game. So we're going to go win. We're going to go with Kiter against Eric Fed. I know the name. I don't know how good he's been. I think Kiter's going to have a good start. I think we win that one, assuming Kiter pitches. And then if JV comes back against Davis Martin has been on its heater. He's been, I think, their best starter. In JV making his first start back.
Glorified bullpen game.
Yeah, if it would be, it'd be. I mean, he's made 2 starts in Toledo, so assuming he would come back against the White Sox, Yankees, or Houston, that would be his home debut since we got him back, because his first start, his one and only start this year, was on the road.
Really?
Yeah, he got scratched the day he was supposed to make his debut. So we'll get into Verlander.
JV back in Detroit again.
Yeah, I love him. I love the signing, but it's not looked good so far. But I hope it can look better. I feel I missed a Thursday. I think this should have been an off day, so that goes like that. So I think we will probably lose that game. So I think we will also go 4-2.
Okay.
So we will see how that ends up going, and we'll keep track of this throughout the year. Even though we're almost halfway through the year and starting this podcast, I don't know, we'll figure something out about maybe, I don't know, the winner, whoever gets the most right at the end of the year, will figure something out maybe.
Put something on the line for sure.
Yeah, maybe even the podcast doesn't even go that long. Maybe we just do 2 or 3 episodes. But
Who's to say?
who's to say we're talking ball? We're at 55 minutes, so we made it pretty.
I'm
Our
surprised we
goal
fill
is,
up that much time.
yeah, our goal is between half hour and an hour, and we got there and
Easily.
easily, and we didn't even talk about fantasy, and we didn't even talk a whole lot about the week as a whole. We just kind of talked about the series against each other, which when we do play each other, I'm sure that'll be the main focus any
Mhm.
week. But we got some plans. Hopefully, maybe we'll see what they come together.
Yeah. If you do watch, thank you. If you enjoyed, let us know. Let your friends know. Obviously, this is targeted towards the casual fan. Me and Marvin, we try our best of putting on the faces that we know what we're talking about, and we're deep in the stats, and we're really good ball knowers. But at the end of the day, we're half a step above a casual fan, right?
Yeah,
Try to
especially
make
when it
this
comes
easy to
to our teams.
digest. Yeah, I know the
Like,
Guardians, and
yeah,
that's it.
yeah, there's the popular names that we all know, obviously, but when you get into some of the weeds, that's when our knowledge might fray a little bit. But yeah, you're gonna this is podcast that'll be on YouTube and it'll be on Spotify for now. Maybe more later, we'll see. But mainly meant for Spotify at the moment. But the graphics and all that we pull up on screen, you can find it on YouTube and you can follow along as we talk. And we try and talk about the numbers as we're taught and stuff like that instead of just showing them. So we uh, we had a good first podcast, and we hope to we'll have another one. I'm sure we ain't gonna do one and done. We'll have a few. But any last words from you, Joe?
Go Guards.
Go no, not go Tigers, and we will see you next time.
Swing hard. Whatever happens, happens.